changing when it moves up and down? Yes, it did. Okay, good. So as our new price series provider comes in, the volume is changing. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Because remember, it wasn't doing it before. Hey, what's up, folks? It is July 24th, 2025. So we're going to do a little bit of an update to the volume profile that we've been working on. And again, this will be, I believe the most recent update has been uploaded to Discord, but I'll be uploading this to Discord as we continue to modify it. So the last thing that we did, so the first thing that we did was we put together the volume profile based on the price series provider. And then the next thing that we did yesterday is that we added the update to the volume profile that allows it to move along with the bars on the chart. So let me show you what I've been working on my side of things. All right, so this is my volume profile that I use. Again, it's what I created, and what we'll be creating together will be similar, but it won't be what I've done, right? All right, so this is what I've done, and this magenta line here is the volume weighted average price of a prior day. So this might have been this was for this current trading day for the day of the 24th, where it ended at. And again, this is something that I've typically seen, and that's why I have it on here, is this area here, this volume weighted average price line. You see where this bounced at? I mean, just above it, but still. And then this red line is the close of a prior day. So excuse me, not the close, but the high of a prior day. And then if I have a blue line, it's the low of a prior day. So on my volume profile, I'm able to see that at a glance where these levels are, so that as price comes back and approaches those areas, I know it's time to start paying attention. Okay, and then so the other thing that I created is the flexible volume profile. I was working on that today. There's still a little bit more I want to do to it, so I can move this rectangle around. This rectangle is attached to the flexible volume profile. And when I first start the chart up, it'll put the flexible volume profile rectangle somewhere in the middle of my screen. Okay. And from there, if I resize it, it doesn't do anything. I can resize it, I can change it, I can move it around, everything is just fine. But if I hit the control button and then resize it, once I let go, it will give me the volume profile based on the left hand. It uses a price series provider, so it gives me a volume profile from the candle to the far left to the far right. So if I want to stretch this out this way, hit the control button. All right, so you see, I can see exactly what's going on. You know, like we had more volume here. And you say, why will we have more volume in this area? Why will we have more volume in that area? Don't know. But then price came back and reacted to that area right here. Pull back below it. Interesting. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're just going to modify the volume profile that we've been working on together. So, and you can see here, just because, well, let's put this on the 5-minute time frame, because on the 1-minute time frame and after hours and whatnot, there's just not, and we've made new highs, so there's hardly no volume up here. So let's put this thing like on the 15-minute time frame or something like that, so that we can see more volume on our more variation amongst our volume profile. Okay, so the volume profile, the way that it's set up is only going back 5 days. So, you know, that might be something that we could change later on our input to modify how many days it goes. But now if you look at here, you can see that the volume here is up to 13,000. This is up to 16,000. But we only have one bar here. So let's go back and look in here, and we might make that a user input. I think we should do that. So the divisor that we have is, I think it's set at 100,000, and I believe it's set at 100,000 because we were playing with it when we were working on the with stocks. So let's change. Let's make an input so we can change that on the fly. I'm just gonna put like divisor units, and that'll be how many shares or contracts are in each character, in each, symbol. Okay, so we will say that will be, instead of 100,000, let's do 1,000. And we're going to put an I at the beginning of it just to let us know that it is an input. This will be an integer, so there's no decimal places or anything like that. So we'll just copy and paste that. Copy anywhere where we have divisor. So we're going to use Control H, and then so we're going to use anywhere we have div. Well, I tell you what, we need to go in here and do it separate, because anywhere where we're using a method that has a local divisor, it will then not, it will choose the local method over the main method of the whole thing. So local supersedes the main variables. So we're going to get rid of this, and in place of this, we're going to put our divisor units. So we just need to find divisor and replace that there. And I think that's the only time, because we just do one calculation with that. And that's it. Okay, so let's verify their divisor units. Oh, we have it as an input, so we can't then change it down here. That's fine. Okay. All right, so now we have more of a volume profile. Now it looks like something that we can use. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right, so we have some volume. We got a little bit of a node here. So I mean, but we're a good bit a ways from that now, 60 points or more. So, all right, let's see. Next thing. So what we wanted to do today, I think, was make it so price series provider updates. So right now, whatever is in this volume is just staying. This same number, even though we have new volume coming in here, the same number is just moving from bar to bar. It's not updating with the newest values from the price series provider. So let's go over here to properties. Let's bring this up. Price series provider over here. We have the properties there. See, true local true, symbol, PSP, true, no tick info. Now what we want to do is we want to go to the updated. So if we have an updated event, if we have updated information, new information coming to the price series provider, then we want to be adding that to our script. Now I actually kind of need to go back and look over the script and see what the script is saying so that I can add to it. Okay, so what we're doing, because again, I've worked on like 2 other volume profiles in the last day. Okay, so what we're doing is, if it's the last bar on the chart and PSP is loaded and we got count, then we're going to load the prices. And then if the labels, if we have something in our labels vector, then we want to update the location. Okay, so load price, update location. And so we're obviously storing our labels into the vector labels. Okay, are we also storing it in a dictionary? No. And we could, that's what I've been doing on my other scripts, is after I have it in the labels, then I'll go and store it in the dictionary, so it's just easier to find, right? So now we can find it in a we could find it in a dictionary just by using the dot operator dot contains, and we wouldn't have to do a loop through to search for our prices. So do I want to make a, I'll tell you what, let's just leave it as a vector. I don't know how demanding it's going to be on the system, and vectors are pretty quick. Dictionaries are much slower, but vectors are pretty quick. Dictionary is a lot slower when you're looping through them, but if you're just calling on it, I don't think it'd be that bad. But we're just going to loop through the vector. So we're going to have a variable integer IDX of a. We might need, I think we're going to need something else. But so as we have a new price series provider, that new information will be index of 0. So let's see. So now we need to loop through our vector of, I don't like that because we need to loop through our vector of labels. And then we need to assign all the labels to a temporary label so that we can pull the information from it. I tell you what. Let me think about this for 2 seconds. I'm really thinking about assigning it to the dictionary, using the price as the key. So let's see how it works. So what I do is I have a dictionary D labels null. Come down at the once block. We're going to have D labels equals new dictionary. All right, and then when we draw the object, not only are we going to add it to the vector labels, but we're also going to add it to the dictionary, which we really don't need to do them both. I'm gonna try them both just because I want to see what happens. I imagine that the pointer of the EasyLanguage pointing to where the text label is, I don't think it matters if you're in the collection, the vector, or the dictionary. I think it will point, both of them can both point to the same text label, but we're going to find out. So we're going to say D labels of the price here's the volume. Where's the price? The prices. That's the prices. But that needs to be a string, so it's going to be number to string, and it's going to have 2 decimal places. That doubled there. Okay, and then what we're going to put in there is going to be the text label. T label as type text label. Shouldn't have a problem doing that. Okay, so yeah, here we're drawing all the labels. Here we are assigning the labels into the vector, and then we're also assigning it into the dictionary. Okay, so then here it'll be easier when we have an updated price series provider to check the dictionary for the price. So we'll say we'll have a double for the Z price, and then we'll have a double for the Z volume. And then so when we get in here, we'll say Z price is going to be equal to PSP dot close of the most recent one, and that's the price, and then Z volume will be equal to PSP dot volume of the most recent price series provider index. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to say if the labels dot contains the price, Z price, and that is a number, so we need to do a numbered string because the keys for dictionaries are always strings. num2 string, and then we'll run it 2 decimal places. If it contains that, then we need to add the volume of the new index to what's already in the D labels. But we need to add it to the text label volume. Okay. And I think to get around this, I use for the labels, for the text label, like up here, the text label. I think I use a tag text to tag on the volume to the label, but I'm not going to do that. So I don't even think I'm gonna use a dictionary. All right, so we can just comment this out for now. So now back to the vector and looping through. So for IDX of A is equal to V labels dot count. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, because otherwise now I'm searching through the text label. I can't search through the vectors because the vectors just got us started. The vectors for the volume and price just got us started, but they're not associated with the text labels at this point. So our text labels really, our text labels are going to have the string for the volume, but it also have other characters. So it has the volume, but then it has other characters. So I think we will need to add the volume to the tag text. And then technically we can go back and use the dictionary. All right. T-label.tag text equals. Good thing about tag text is you can put a lot of information there. You can use like a token list or something like that, and you can put a lot of information in that tag text and then pull it out as you need it. But for right now, the only thing that we need is the volume. So we need the volume of IDX of A, which is just vol. But that's going to be a number to string, and that actually can be an integer, but 0 places. That's the tag text number to string. Okay, so now when we come down here, we're going to say if D label, what happened to our D labels? D labels dot contains PSP dot close that index, then D labels of PSP.close. That's a number. Need to convert it to a string. And same thing up here. Okay, then that's going to be equal to whatever is already in there. No. Now we need a temporary line, temporary label. Z label. So we're going to do a begin. Then Z label is equal to D labels of that as type text label, and then Z label dot tag Z label dot tag text. So we're going to have a something called new volume. Z new volume is equal to what's in the tag text, which is a string. So string to number. Take that tag text, and then we want to add on to it our new volume, PSP volume of our most recent index. Okay, so those two added together goes onto our Z new volume as a, can we do it as an integer? As an integer. Just to be certain. Okay, now we have our new volume and we have our price already. So if we do have this already, then we're going to update this text label. Z label dot we don't need to do anything with the location because we have a location updater that's constantly updating. So we just need to update the text. Z label dot text string is equal to. Did we have a method that makes our text string? No, we did this. It'd be nice if we pulled this out. I think we can just grab this. The number of characters. Need to grab the volume number of characters. Let's try that. Okay, so the volume, Z volume, is equal to Z new volume. Well, we already got Z new volume, so that's fine. So we might not need this Z new volume. Put that there. Divided by the divisor units. So that'll give us how many number of characters that we have, which is an integer. And then we'll take v profile, which would be empty initially, and then for IDX b equals 0 to number of characters, begin v profile plus equals our character less than sign, then v profile plus equals, we want to add a space, and then we want to add the our z new volume. Okay, so we need v profile and IDX of b. We didn't use IDX of a, so we can just use that, and then z v profile. Okay, so then that's going to give us our string that we need to reassign to our z label to update that string. And that should do it. See how many errors we have here. Okay, begin if d-labels that contains this new value, then we want to begin, we want to do all this updating. And if it doesn't contain it, and else if it doesn't contain it, then we just need to draw a new label. Again, this would be technically having a separate, and that's what I did on my other scripts, have it, pulling this information out. So I have a separate method that draws it. I have a separate method that does these calculations. And so then when I come down here, I could just call on each individual method instead of having to write it all over. So yeah, T label. So I'll just copy this. And I did need this because we are looking back in the dictionary now. At this point, copying all this T label stuff. And technically, since we're drawing a whole new label, technically we just need all this anyway. Yep. All right, let me see if I can make it work. Else begin. Z new volume. I do already have z vol up there. Z vol is equal to psp dot volume of that z price. Need a double z price. PSP.close. All right. I'll need this one. Number of characters, we got that. Int portion on divisors. This is zvol. V profile, got that. IDX of B, yes. V profile, okay. V profile, yep. Zvol. Then T labels, create, DT pointer, create, V prices of index. So this is just going to be V, V Z price. And then V profile. Label persist true, lock true. T label, V style, where that. T label that text. Z vol. We're going to go ahead and push it back. And we're also going to assign the or add the label to the vector and to the dictionary. And draw it. All right, let's verify. Z price. Okay, we got Z price another time. We don't need it twice. Like I said, we'll have to come back one day and clean all this up. All right, T label. Unknown identifier. This wasn't local up here. Yes, it was. Really? I don't like it being local there, though. Which proved to me that that can work. But, all right, so we got an error here. Where's the error coming at? PSP updated. Okay, that's just probably because this thing updates so quick. So if it contains that, then we're going to do that. Else, we're going to do this. We need to only really come in and start doing this stuff if the labels. The market is trying to make a run for it, huh? More higher highs. Wow. If T labels, if T label, if last bar on chart, let's start with that. And T label exists and D volume D labels count is greater than 0, then begin. And end. Verify that, come over here, open it back up. See what kind of errors we have. No errors now. So if we get a new price up here, if we get another higher high, then it should add right to here, or right where the new higher high is, should add the new label. My guess is it's going to give us some kind of error because that was kind of a lot to not have any issues. But we'll see. Oh, and we don't even need that. We need to be looking right now. Let's see. Is the volume changing? That's what we're looking for. Is the volume changing when it moves up and down? Yes, it did. Okay, good. So as our new price series provider comes in, the volume is changing. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Because remember, it wasn't doing it before. It was just, the numbers were staying the same and it was just moving from one to the next. Now, I have a feeling, I think that this is duplicating. See how this looks a little bit like, I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing things or I'm used to seeing this, but I feel like, no, it's not. Okay. I feel like this is darker than this. Like this 1064 is darker than the rest of it. But you can get that kind of a thing if you have multiple text labels being overlaid over top of one another. And in the instance where you're adding new text labels, that could happen. But we're not adding any new text labels unless we have a whole new price added to this profile. Otherwise, we're only updating the tag text. We're only updating the text string. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, guys, so 40 minutes into it, and we just managed to, and again, a lot of it's talking, but, well, and then I gave you an update at the beginning. But you see how long it takes just to do some of these little small pieces? And I think it has a significant impact, overall, right, for your trading. If you can make something that is valuable. But, in the meantime, this programming is not, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the faint of heart. So if you have been hanging out with me, then kudos to you. Oh, and I see this happened earlier on the left-hand side of the screen where I was supposed to write, I have a local variable called Z spaces, and instead of putting Z spaces, I put the word spaces. And so it's showing up right here when I have new highs or new values in the price series provider. So I need to change that. But again, like I said, this is pretty good. It's not ready for prime time, but it's pretty darn close. So, all right, guys, be smart, trade safe, trade smart. Share this with a friend, but only if you love them. Only if they're yeah ace. All right. I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.